shouldn't be over, and we should stop pussyfooting about the goddamn Russians. We're going to have to fight them sooner or later anyway. Why not do it now when we got the army here to do it with? Instead of disarming these German troops, we ought to get them to help us fight the damn Bolsheviks. Mother, you and I don't have to get involved. You're so damn soft about it. You leave it to me. In 10 days, I'll have us a war with those sons of bitches, and I'll make it look like their fault.
Good morning, America and the rest of the world. Xander J. Hobson here, stand-up comedian and entertainer, director and producer of boxing documentaries, internet troll to those who need internet trolling. This here is another episode of Hell for Love and News, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. I'm trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means leave a comment in the comment section. Well, I got my green vest on today, and the reason why I had my green vest on is because I washed my camouflage BDU uniform. But I said all that to say this: Xander J. Hobson, war correspondent here.
Well, in his first remarks since Russia's full-scale invasion, President Biden said he has no plans to speak with Vladimir Putin and that relations between the two countries are, quote, completely ruptured. And in an alarming comment, President Biden today said Putin has larger ambitions than just Ukraine, that he wants to reestablish the former Soviet Union.
Here now, General David Petraeus, former CIA director and Afghanistan commander. General, did you read that the same way I read that? That sounded like a nuclear threat to me.
Well, it sounded like a very substantial threat. Certainly that can be read into it.
The war shouldn't be over, and we should stop pussyfooting about the goddamn Russians. We're going to have to fight them sooner or later anyway. Why not do it now when we got the army here to do it with?
I'm doing this video to give my take on Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has took the world back about 80 years. I believe it's 80 years since World War II. And Putin marched into the Ukraine. He just strolled in there. Kind of sort of like Hitler strolled into Poland and all the other countries that he took over. And what's happening now? America is standing on the sideline. You have Joe Biden standing around selling wolf tickets. We're going to put sanctions on Putin. We're going to put sanctions on him. And Americans are not going to get into the fight. Well, from what I gathered from watching all the news sources, Putin has designs on putting back together the old Soviet Union. He's going to put the whole gang back together. And in the meantime, you got Joe Biden standing on the sideline saying, we're going to put sanctions on him. We're going to put sanctions on him. We're going to fix him. And then in the same breath, Joe Biden is saying that did anybody expect the sanctions to stop Putin from invading the Ukraine? The whole thing is a hot mess. And to be totally honest with you, it's quite scary, because when one superpower decides they wants to attack another country and you don't have a superpower to keep the superpower in check, what's to stop the superpower from trying to just take over the world? Some old Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader type shit.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
What's to stop that? America has been waging, or had waged, the war for more than 20 years, exhausting itself financially and exhausting itself militarily. And now, the only thing America could do is just stand on the sideline and watch its adversary just run roughshod through the Ukraine first, then the old Soviet bloc countries, and then what else? And from what I gathered, watching the news, the Russians had made a pact with the Iranians. That's some scary shit. You mean the Iranians that don't like the United States of America? You mean the Iranians who took Americans hostage back in '79? You mean the same Iranians that the Americans destabilized their country by sending that son of a bitch Kermit Roosevelt over there to Iran? You mean those Iranians? This is some scary shit. America is a young country, and what transpired with our country, America, we were the tough young boy. We were the Mike Tyson of the world. We were the Rocky Marciano of the world. And what we did, we was steamrolling the other countries that we shared the world with because we were younger and stronger. But what happened? As time went along, America just kept on picking on everybody. We were the bullies. And now the countries that we bullied are starting to come back to see us again. It's a scary set of circumstances. And I don't know what the hell we're going to do, how we're going to deal with this, because, again, what's happening over there in the Ukraine is horrible. Often enough, I stood on the sidelines and I said to myself, why don't this country mind their goddamn business? Now I have an understanding why this country didn't mind its business. I don't like the idea of it, but now as a person who's into fairness, I'm like saying, wow, this is a shame. Because this is what I'm getting here as I watch this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine unfold. You have big bad Russia standing in the middle of the street, beating up on the Ukraine. The Ukraine is fighting back, but the Russians are clearly bigger and stronger than them. And what's going on? You got people like Joe Biden and all the rest of the country standing on the side saying, hey, stop. Hey, don't hit him like that. Stop it. And nobody has the courage to step out and break the fight up. Even if it means you might got to get into a little scuffle. I was listening to the news, and they were talking about how America wants to put sanctions on Putin, but they don't want to put too harsh as sanctions on Putin because that will affect the prices of gas and oil over here in America. Now, ain't that a bitch? Again, it's the same thing. It's like a bunch of people riding down the street coming from church on Sunday. They got their nice car, they got their nice clothes on. Matter of fact, let's just make it a church bus. Okay, it's a church bus. They're going to wherever they're going, and they all sitting up on their nice church bus. They got all their cool shit on. Their bellies is full from eating after church, and they're riding down the street. And what happened? They look out the window, and they see some big kid picking on some little kid. But instead of one of the men getting off the bus and walking over there and breaking it up, they just saying, hey, stop that, man. Don't do that. Why? Because they don't want to get their clothes dirty breaking up the fight. This whole thing is sad. This whole thing is a debacle. I don't know where we're going from here, but I will say this. General George Patton was right all those years ago when he said that one day the Russians were going to be a problem.
General Katkov would like to know whether you will join him to dream of the surrender of Germany.
My compliments, General. Please inform him that I do not care to drink with him or any other Russian celebrant.
Sir, I cannot tell the General that.
Tell him. Tell him word for word.
We reached that day. I'm done with it. Bam!
A little boy climbed an apple tree. He stole an apple, then two, then three. And when he started to climb back down, he slipped and he landed on the ground. Up jumped the devil, up jumped the devil, and every time he turned around, up jumped the devil in the white nightgown.